30 minutes or less, or it's free. This week on The Hapless Heroes.
This is why you don't have PhD, Jeff.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I continue to be your host and DM as we continue our exploration of this abandoned research facility, now with power, but also with a time limit. And machine guns. Yes, Gatling lasers, apparently. Automated Gatling lasers, and potentially some uninvited company. As the pilot that brought you here has informed all of you of some things. But before we get to that, let me go ahead and introduce who the all of you is that I just mentioned. You know them, you love them. Starting in my virtual left, we have Dave playing March.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Lewis as Lev Zangiv.
Hello.
Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup.
Hello.
Sebastian as Chum Daloom.
Welcome back.
And John is Jam Jam.
Jam Jam has blue stuff.
Mike is still unable to join us for this session. He has asked us for us to still continue. Brew is still suffering from some mildly glowing seasickness, potentially of some kind. You guys did drop him off to the ship last time, so again, he'll be there and ready to kind of sort of for Mike to re-enter the driver's seat as soon as he returns. However, I will say that we should not dismiss this plot sickness that he is currently experiencing as simply just plot sickness. There may be more to uncover with that, but we'll have to find out upon Michael's return.
Can't wait for that.
Until then, we are now in a powered research facility. You guys found some interesting crates in the security office that you managed to break into. You managed to stop the emergency transmission that was being broadcast from the comms room. However, the facility is still technically under a lockdown. You got a little bit of information of potentially how to end that, but it seems like you're going to probably need something that may have belonged to the former chief security officer, and who knows if that is even still in this facility. There was some, shots from some automated security turrets that were present throughout the facility, as the disabled one that you guys had disassembled earlier was sort of a forewarning to.
How long have we been in here, Fran?
Now disabled 3 of them. How long have you guys been here? It's probably been, if I think about, if I were to cut away all of the out of character conjecture, right, that we've had over the course of the last several episodes, there's still been a fair bit of time spent exploring, hacking, and doing things. So I would say it's probably been a couple hours.
And turning the power on took a minute, and then figuring out what to do when the power was on took a lot less.
Like 2 hours, 3 hours?
Probably about 2 hours.
Is that with travel time too? How long did it take to get here?
No. It took 3 weeks to get here.
Okay.
Wasn't there like a oxygen thing going on?
There was.
Cool.
There is no longer. The life support systems have power. I did mention the air did feel a bit stale.
Gross.
Sick.
Recycled
air.
Not. Yeah, it very much so. That's kind of what I was trying
chemically
to
scrubbed air.
Describe.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
With a machine that hasn't, probably done this in a while, of at least about 30 years, right? So
yeah. It does smell like burnt chum at the current moment.
And then
but we left off with you guys dropping those crates off to the ship. You only unlocked one of them and found some mysterious blue vials that are being preserved with like a small amount of, I guess, like power or left and whatever this thing is that's sort of keeping them at a specific colder temperature. And then there's also again, that other crate that was not unlocked but has been brought aboard the ship. So that's where we kind of are. We got about 30 or so minutes until potentially whatever this blip is that entered the system is going to probably be in range of the station. We don't know what it is. Mulligan is not entirely sure yet, based on his scans. He has not shared any further information, but know that you have about 30 minutes until potentially there are some, you may have company.
Does Jeff know that we opened is it obvious that these cases have been opened, or what's his reaction to us coming with one one emptied one, I guess, and one?
Yeah, so I guess we'll start there. I think I'm just going to try to do something different for him every episode until they all just mishmash together into his true voice. I think that's what's going to happen here.
Truly is a mulligan, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're just mulliganing on the voice every time. So he's going to say, I don't really see why we're doing a salvage run right now when we have a specific mission to do. But
we don't know where Q is being kept. We have to take everything we can just in case.
I understand. Sure. I would just focus on maybe finding the server
This
room or
fucking
ending the
guy.
lockdown or doing something to find where this data is being kept. Okay. I don't know enough. I don't know that much about computers except for the ones that are on this, these types of ships. However, I can say that typically, if you're looking for data, those would be probably within computers and servers or whatever.
Good to know, Jeff.
We saw a sign that said servers. Was that downstairs or was that upstairs?
It was downstairs.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I thought. Okay.
So
Jam's aggressive tobogganing back towards the elevator.
we,
All right, if
we're
he
gonna
doesn't
go
care about
back
this-
looking for the data without turning off the guns. Looks at singe mark on his suit. Isn't the security on this floor? And we need something else to turn off the lockdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were doing
There were
that last
there were
time.
signs that also pointed you guys towards offices and
Yeah.
quarters.
And those
things
are
like that,
also
too.
downstairs?
No, those are up here
Okay.
Yep.
on this floor.
So then
Jam
it stays.
is essentially giving up on the
turning
security.
off the guns?
Mhm.
All
Yep.
right.
Okay. While they
until
do
we
that-
He'll
have,
get shot next time then.
While they-
Damn.
While they do that, Lev has grown increasingly impatient, and he takes a peek at what's inside the other box.
Well, it's locked.
I don't have time
Lev's
for
like,
locks,
not
dude.
anymore.
Yeah, Lev does not have time for locks right now, and he
Make me
again
make me a
furrows
strength
his
check.
brow at an obstacle.
Yep, make me a strength check, please.
And it's like there's a small sigh that comes out of him too. Like,
Oh, man.
14.
Ooh.
A 14. This is not like your garden variety, just like, like you can't, you're trying your hardest to just kind of rip it off. I remember mentioning it was one of those locks. It's a normal, like, little keyhole, and it kind of latches and, like, holds the lid closed, right? And kind of snaps into the side, flush with the box, and you're trying to, like, rip it up. But it's like
Nice.
you use all your strength, but it's just, it's not budging. It's pretty
Okay.
pretty thick.
I flash my teeth at it in like a snarl, and then I run after Jam, cursing that box, the manufacturer of that lock's name in my head.
Glorp looks at the box after and rolls up their arms like a cartoon character, right? Just like pushes up their own arms so that the bottom halves are skinnier than the upper halves, and rolls a 3 trying to break the same lock.
I think that you know what the result of that is, so I don't really have to tell you.
My
Jam
hand
Jam
hurts.
is
Resounding success.
right. Jam's aggressively pushing the elevator button again. Looks back and sees everybody still fiddling in the hangar area. Jam will open it later. Let's go.
Agreed. And March heads over to the elevator. We've got work to do.
Glorp also follows.
Okay. You can see. The remains of the one turret that you guys destroyed is just down the hall from the elevators, right in the opposite end of where the comms rooms are. Right, it's towards the other direction. You guys haven't gone further in yet. That's where quarters and like offices and briefing room and all that stuff is being pointed out to be. But you said you guys are everyone going back downstairs.
Oh, yeah. I'm mumbling about getting shot, but yeah.
Okay. So back downstairs then, right? You guys exit the elevators. I remember mentioning, I forgot which one of you I pointed it out to, but I think it was Lev potentially who noticed that there was sort of this like it would appear to be like this red dot of like a camera that's pointed at Lab 4 down the hall, kind of, just between Lab 2 and 4.
Okay. When we were headed to the power, did you mention that?
When you were heading out from the power, like after you guys destroyed the turret and you guys and
I remember
made
that.
it back to the elevators, I had pointed out that just further down the hall.
Okay. I call it
there
out
was a painted-
out loud. Look at that red light staring at us right now. Do you see that?
I also mentioned to you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But I also mentioned to you that all of the panels where there may have been security cameras, right, and footage of that, right, there were like a bunch of screens inside the security room. All of them were dark, like they were on, but they were not. None of them were displaying anything.
0% ominous.
What am I? Part of Jackintosh? That is not me.
No, Jackintosh, that's my computer for personal time. You leave that thing alone.
Oh God! Oh no! Please,
that
someone
was
say
the house
something else so we
computer.
can move on from it. Please, someone say something else so we can just move on from that.
So where was that server room again?
It is under bed. I've seen it before. He slips it under there.
Oh no! So the server room, Jam, the signs are pointing beyond where like Lab 4 and Lab 2 in that direction down the hall.
Okay, Jam's gonna move like quickly but aware, looking for turrets that are still on the ceiling.
Sure, I would like for you to make me a perception check, please.
Not the strongest, but it. Hold on, let me see. It's 13.
So how are you moving through this hallway? Like, are you aggressive tobogganing still? I feel like that's been your sort of default mode.
I feel like he aggressive toboggans like in a zigzag, and then like waddles.
Serpentine.
Yeah, serpentine.
Yeah, sure.
And then waddles a little bit when he gets up, and then again aggressive toboggans across like intersections and hallways, and then continues to keep an eye out with his
Sounds
rifle.
more like a tactical tobogganing, really.
So you're gonna you do notice something. You see the camera more clearly that Lev had pointed out. It is focused through. Now there's windows that, right, these like there's almost like plexiglass of some kind, or some sort of like like these like sort of thick windows that look into the labs, right? You can kind of see just like the ruined like remains, like a bunch of desks like overturned, tables overturned, broken like computer parts and glass of some kind, like maybe like some instrumentation, based on the rooms that I described to you, right? The chemical lab, the hydroponics lab, some sort of biology lab, and then this lab 4. When you look through the window to lab 4, you get a brief glimpse. Because of your stature, it's hard to necessarily kind of see, because it's one of those things where it's not like a full, it's like the whole wall is not a window. It's like a half wall and then the window starts, right? So like you're only able to kind of see like what you can, like what's over that. You can't see what's below necessarily, Jam, right? If I'm thinking about where your perspective is, being so close to the ground. But you can see that even even the lights and things like that have been sort of like just torn from like the ceiling, and there's just appears to be a bunch of debris inside of each of these labs. There is also next to the camera what appears to be one of those like turret like holders, but the turret from this one is missing.
Okay. And Lab 4 is not necessarily the server. It's not the server room, right?
No.
Just Lab 4.
Directly ahead, you see that there is a door on the left, and it has like a restroom sign to it that's beyond the labs. And then the hallway then, this hall then ends and turns right. Do you continue moving? Are you stopping here? Like I've described what you can see so far as you're moving past labs 2 and 4.
How fast does he move compared to the rest of us?
I mean, that's up to. I mean, he's. I mean, if you're following him, guys, like you guys are probably at a walking pace, only because he is zigzagging ahead of you, right?
I know, that's why I'm just curious. Like, is he multiple hallways in front of us, or?
No. I mean, unless you guys tell me you're hanging back and he's going ahead, I'm assuming you're all kind of moving together. He's just towards the front.
I agree. I would like to to be close to the front as well.
I follow the
Sure,
group.
you can. Yeah, all right. Anyone stopping at the labs here? Are we continuing towards where the signs are pointing?
Lab 4, is this not where guests were supposed to be had here, right?
I'm
Spending
sure they
time?
are, but primary mission first. We'll get this if we get time on the way out, huh?
Do we see like
Okay.
a camera looking at us still from above that lab?
Not looking at you. It's looking into the lab. It's pointed at the window, looking into the lab.
Given my stature, I doubt I'd be able to see anything other than the walls and the floor and the people in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just following the group.
There are signs pointing towards the server room, though, as you can see, towards the end of the hall. Just if you were to make a right, you would assume it's probably over there somewhere.
Server room, perfect. I'm gonna keep up with Lev and Jam Jam, but I'm always gonna make sure they're in front of me.
Yeah, I'm definitely with them.
Okay. You see that, if you get to the corner, you can see that the hallway just looks like a hallway. And there does appear to be a just one door on the left, sort of in the middle of the hall.
Is there a window to this room?
There is not. It does say server room, but the door is there's no window on the door and there's no windows on the walls here. It is blind outside of the sign labeling it as the server room. Again, another access card reader here. It's displaying the same thing: facility lockdown in progress.
Do your magic.
Whoop. Card into the slot and hack all day long, because
Yeah,
that's what they pay me the medium bucks for.
You know, back
Yeah,
in
you
my
do.
day, we had doors with knobs, and we thought that was genius.
I miss
We
knobs
did.
too.
Let's
What?
see. It's a 19 on the die plus.
Some doors you could just push open. It's perfect.
I like the ones you could pull too. The
But
good old days.
that was knob. You know, they had to make knob for
Right.
that.
Jam Jam is not standing
circle.
in front of the door as Margie's about to open it.
Yeah. So 25
Gotcha.
total.
25, yeah. Very easily overrides, and the door opens. The room is humming, but there's also March, the equivalent, like the IT equivalent of nails on a chalkboard, sort of hits your ears immediately as the server room door opens, and it's the sound of like fans grinding on something. Like cooling fans of some kind are grinding somewhere within here, in multiple places even potentially.
Well, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Are you peeking into the room as the door opens, March?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's rows and rows of like server racks. A lot of them a lot of stuff appears to have been pulled out of them in haste, as if these were imagine like you're like, you know, those maybe when the Blade servers were all a craze back, maybe, I don't know, was it like 5-10 years ago, when there was like, you know, like everyone wanted to get like the Blade setups or whatever the hell
Yeah.
they were in like server rooms. Yeah. It's like that, and a lot of them appear to have been like removed, or some of them are just hanging out of some of these servers. Other racks have been tipped and are like leaning against the wall. You can see that some of them have been dented. Like whatever happened to here was done hastily, or someone else has been through here since this place was evacuated, as no person in their right mind would treat equipment like this so aggressively. There are a few racks still standing, you know, with a lot of their internals still in place. You can see a lot of the lights are still on some of these things, but a lot of stuff in here is in a state of disrepair.
All right. Well, this is where
Suspicious.
we're going to start. We're going to get the information we can get from the things that are working first. So I want to find whatever the first working rack to the right is.
Sure. I mean, you know, you can. There's plenty of like ports and things like that to plug stuff into. I mean, like, you know, and you can just try to do like a quick scan of the contents. You're gonna notice that like as soon as you try to like access any of them, you know, it's looking for authentication and this and that. But I will say that while the security of this facility itself, you know, had a certain kind of style to it, right? You kind of got a feel for what like whatever security OS they were using, whatever dated. I mean, it's not something you've necessarily come across before, but it's very garden variety. This seems a little bit different. Like this stuff seems to be set up a little bit differently. Like some stuff is very easy to access, but it looks like a lot of stuff has been very segmented. And so I'm going to need you to actually make, instead of a hacking check, I'm actually going to need you to make me just a straight up computers check.
Okay. As it turns out, those are incredibly similar.
What do you get? Oh, no. Oh, you got it! He got it!
Natural 20.
I was hoping it wasn't the other one.
Dragon energy.
Okay.
Big dragon.
Through some quick thinking, you figure out a way to sort of like bridge some pathways between these like segments of data and other things, in the ways that however this stuff has been sort of like subdivided within the massive amounts of I guess like data storage that exists in these kinds of servers. What you're able to quickly piece together, just based on the names of some of the folder structure you're seeing and things like that, a lot of the data you're looking at right now that's still here had to do with whatever was going on in the hydroponics lab. It's describing a lot of different varieties of flora, fauna, cloning different plants, hybrids of certain plants, things to like increase yield without sacrificing things like like aesthetic. I'm not gonna say aesthetic things, because taste is not aesthetic. It is something that I feel is personally very important. But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it's just like there's a lot of different notes and experiments and like peer-reviewed papers and all these different things. You're getting a lot of. It seems to be very centric on that. There's also appears to have been some collaboration between Lab 1 and then the S&T Bio folks in Lab 3, who were also visitors but were not treated with any secrecy necessarily. It appears that some of the plants that they were cultivating here were also being used in some of the experiments in Lab 3, which the engineer did.
And you said that was SNT?
SNT, Sierra November Tango.
Fantastic. That's what's in Lab 3, and we've got hydroponics in Lab 1, apparently. Sounds lovely. Okay, good. Download it all.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of data. I don't know if you, but at the same time, like what they consider to be, I guess like high tech storage and data transfer speeds.
It's a really big
ago,
notepad file.
And I guess what modern technology in March's world has looked like.
I already have like almost essentially like a jailer's or a like custodian's key ring full of USB keys that I'm just like slapping in.
Yeah, they have like a ton of storage.
Yeah. I'll go parallel on this.
In order to sort of create this passage of time and to kind of illustrate that, like, maybe we may need a little more focus, it does take about 5 minutes for you to download all of that stuff to one of your drives.
Okay, well, good. That can start its thing. If it's a 5-minute download, great. Within 30 seconds of starting that, we're on to the next computer, and we'll let that do that in the background.
I see a finger up from Seb, and I also want to say that I want to say that Glorp also potentially had something earlier, but I don't remember if that's still relevant. I just want to make sure I'm hitting some folks. So Seb, you had a finger up?
Mm-hmm. While March is doing his March stuff, Choom, who is ever the suspicious conspiracy theorist, remembers completely that Proxy, the vampire. Oh, hold on, we're doing character. Vamp Daddy told us that this place, nobody else really knew about this place. So I'm gonna look around for any sign that maybe someone's been here between the time we've been here and when the other people were here.
I'm gonna put a pin in that.
Cool.
That sounds like a good idea. And then Glorp, did you still have something you were trying to do here? I want to make sure I didn't overlook.
No, not
okay.
Now that March has started doing wise computer things.
I see. Okay, good. So it was good that March beat you to it. Okay.
March beat me to grabbing a hard drive, ripping it out of one of the racks, and going, "Is this what we're looking for?"
I love that so much. Okay. And I guess again, just making sure that I do just kind of get a feel for where everyone is in the scene. We got March hacking some stuff. We got Chu maybe searching for some signs of other people who have come through here. Jam and Lev, do y'all have anything in particular you're doing, or are you kind of almost standing watch?
Yeah, I feel pretty. Lev feels pretty out of place in this environment. It's kind of like it's like at recital. You're just like, yeah, I'm there. You know, I have to be here. I have to be here right now. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just on side. It is okay right now. Because I would hit one of these things and draw Q on it like Glorp would.
Jam, how about yourself?
He's just making sure that no automated turrets fall out of the ceiling,
and start shooting everything in here. Yeah,
and also he is like kind of like just scanning the room for anything that just says any indication of where anything might be, but he's not really helpful in that regard. Other than if it didn't say Project Q in huge letters on the front of the server.
Right.
I will tell you that you have no such luck locating any such obvious evidence of where this data might be located. But again, I appreciate that. Just trying to make sure that I'm not preventing any other things from happening here while some of these folks are working.
What do the ceilings look like?
So it looks like in this room, it's almost like there's like a drop ceiling of some kind. Mm-hmm. So and some of it has like collapsed, and like so some of the tiles, right, that would be part of that are missing. You can just see like some different like HVAC stuff rolling through here, like in up top. Imagine probably to keep this room at a certain temperature at all times and whatnot.
So where the ceiling connects to like the hallway, I guess, or where the doorway is, does the like HVAC piping and everything continue that way? Or is there suddenly like somewhere, a hard concrete end? Is there?
It's hard to tell because it does appear that the ceiling and the hallways are around the same height. So it does it so that you would maybe imagine that there is some stuff running then.
How high is the ceiling?
About 15 feet high, I think I said. Or did I say 25? It was one of the two.
You tell us.
Yeah.
I know.
I'll write it down.
When you're making up a lot of things, you know what? Why don't we just take the average of the things I did say, because I can't check the recording right now. And sorry, audience, but I just don't care to. So we'll just say it's 20 feet high now. It always has been. Nice. It never was anything different.
The ceilings in the hallways and all of the rooms and on the floor and everything.
If it was different, it was an optical illusion.
How tall are these racks?
More room for horn.
The racks almost go to the ceiling. There's maybe, I'd say, 4 or 5 feet from the top of the rack to the ceiling. These are large server racks.
Cool. I'm gonna climb a server rack and try to jump into the ceiling.
Oh,
love that. Give me the mildest of acrobatics checks, please.
How do I make it mild?
Listen, if Chum can have dirty rolls, I can ask for mild checks, okay?
Mild
it's
acrobatics.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm giving you a spicy 22.
Ooh, it's not mild.
No, that's fine. You have no issues getting to the top of this and maintaining balance on, what might be potentially wobbly racks based on, you find the sturdiest places to kind of climb up, and you're able to kind of get into the ceiling. How much do you weigh, Glorp?
Oh, a lot. Where did I write my weight? 300 pounds.
Damn.
Oh.
I'm dead.
300 pounds?
Right.
Yeah,
dense.
I'm medium, and I'm just
Damn.
like water. Think of what like a human-sized pail of water would weigh, right? Like,
I will say then, Glorp, you make it to the top of the rack just fine, but as you're trying to like climb into like this whole drop ceiling area, it's become very apparent to you that it's not going to support your weight.
Oh, I'm not looking to climb. I'm looking to get up high enough on a server rack and then jump like into the ceiling towards like, something I can so like
destroy.
The HVAC.
Destroy is a question.
You're gonna have to be you're gonna have to be very liquid in order to maybe get into some of these. It's very tight in here, right? There's not a lot of room to move around. There's a lot of different pipes, wires, vents, and other things like just kind
dive
of
into the AC unit
here. But there's nothing that has necessarily like a big opening for you to dive into. There's like a lot of grates and things like that, but there's not like any like big glorp-sized openings.
That sounds like exactly
I
what
thought there were
Bork is diving
entire
into.
tiles missing.
Yeah, there's tiles missing, but again, it's a drop ceiling. Like it's not like a all that is just hiding what is, between the drop ceiling and the actual ceiling, which is made of pretty much like rock and stone.
Ducts.
But so there's
Ducts
like
of
it's
wires.
really packed in there, full of like HVAC and wiring. that
You would
you're
imagine
saying
they
there's,
had to
like-
build drop ceilings and things like that because of the fact that this facility was built into a fucking asteroid. So they had to create some space to run a lot of the internals of the facility.
Okay, well, while I'm up there, can I see now that I'm up there if I'm able to view over towards where the other labs and things would be?
No, like I said, there's no easy
Windows.
views. Everything is very tight. Everything is when pipes go to the wall, right? There's a connection section. It's not open. It's not this big open ceiling space. I'm telling you, it's very tightly packed with just metal and wires, and there's no necessarily openings to see out into the other rooms or beyond.
Impressive, though. Damn.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
I flute myself out into a sheet basically and and drift
Okay.
like a plastic bag.
Let me get to now Chum's inquiry about seeing if, maybe finding evidence of others that have come through here. How are you going about that exactly?
Well, having some mechanical knowledge, you said that the room itself was in pretty disarray.
Yeah, it's in disarray.
Right. I'm looking for damage to any of the systems or anything. I'm looking to see if there's anything that I can date. Okay, obviously this section is covered in dust, hasn't been touched in forever. But this section has been disturbed in some recent time.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're trying to. Okay, that's probably gonna be an investigation check.
Hell yes. And if you allow the mechanical side, then I would get advantage on this.
Well, these are computers, not mechanical parts.
It's hardware, software.
Very
thing.
different. That's why we made a distinction between being able to know.
Okay.
Right? It is a hardware software thing, but it's also computer hardware and car/ship hardware aren't. Yes, there are computers in these things, but that does not make up the mechanics necessarily, right? That's why we separated, right, mechanics tools and then
You can't see
computers
it.
and things like that. As a nat 20
That's a
on
natural
the
20.
investigation, though?
That's a natural 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be a natural, critical, dirty 24.
Okay.
It's
So I'm going to describe a little scene here for you guys. So Chum is scurrying around this room. He's hopping up on the stuff. You see him looking closely at some of the dents
Sniffing.
and dings, and you see him literally wiping surfaces, right? Yeah, sniffing the surfaces, seeing the dust, right? Just full investigator mode, right?
Ace Ventura.
Already then.
Yeah,
And
more like
Chum-
S Ventura.
So in your mind, you're starting to kind of maybe put together what might have happened here. It appears that there was an attempt to extract data, server blades, other things like that are within this space, because a lot are missing, and it appears that it had to have been done in an incredible haste. Maybe the timetable for evacuation may have been rushed. It does appear, though, that a lot of what you're seeing here may have happened, that 30 years ago. However, you do notice that the ground itself and some of these areas, it almost appears like there has been, and it's hard to tell because also gravity has been restored to this place only recently, so dust will have been disturbed, and it's kind of hard to say maybe what may have come through here. But there does appear to be under where one of the server racks is tipped against the wall, right? There does appear to be something some sort of device, maybe no larger than the size of a small flip phone, but doesn't flip. Just I'm trying to give you, I don't know, maybe I don't know, a couple inches,
Like a
right?
beeper.
Yeah, just on the ground. beneath that tipped over rack, and it doesn't seem to match like any of the technology you're seeing throughout the rest of the facility. It seems off to you. It seems odd to you that this doesn't seem like it maybe is from the same time or place.
I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. It doesn't really have like a display screen or a touch, like anything like that. It doesn't really have a lot of buttons. There's maybe just 3 different like buttons on the top, on the longer sort of edge on one side, and there's like a small just like a horizontal like display screen, and it looks like it's almost like it would show like very like simplistic like digits or letters or things like that, but no more display than that. And then looking at it further and maybe like a just offset on the shorter end, and it's kind of rounded, right? It's more oval than it is like rectangular. There appears to be some sort of retracted antenna, maybe. It's hard. It's you'd have to kind of dig your fingers in there to pull it out, but it does appear to be maybe some sort of antenna.
Hell yeah.
But it looks strange to you. You've never seen a device like this, quite like this before. It looks, it doesn't necessarily look like it's like a homemade, right? But it has that kind of energy to it.
So I would go to the expert of weird objects that I wouldn't know. And I don't know how much time has passed since doing this, but I go, March, have you ever seen anything like this?
March, you're busy looking, trying to find another rack to, connect to, and this and that. And
but he just said some magic words, and he has my phone undivided. So
yeah, you've never seen a device that looks like this before either, March.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need a lot more than 30 minutes with that. Throw that in a bag,
Got it.
If you got any bags made of like Faraday cage stuff or something, throw it in that. Isolate the shit out of that thing. I don't know what the hell it is.
House. Yeah.
Sure. Just wrap it up in some shit. Let's get that thing hidden.
Okay. Who is going to be responsible for this mysterious unknown device? June?
I was just gonna put it in my backpack.
I like how Glorp raised their hand.
I know,
we know that.
We all know where they're gonna put it.
I could be a Faraday cage.
Yeah, you know what?
I could be a Faraday cage.
I think I got something. And Zero takes a hard drive and you're right. I fucked that up. March takes a hard drive enclosure out of his bag, just smacks it against one of the server racks next to it, just crack it open. All right, yeah, this should have enough metal on it. Shucks the hard drive out of it, and puts the device in the middle and closes it back up, wraps it up in like a handkerchief and throws it in his bag.
Damn.
Okay, March has it.
All right.
Okay. Good to know. So, March, I would like for you, you're moving to the next one. I'm going to have you make me a computers check.
All right.
Please.
This is merely a 10 plus 6 gives me 16.
Okay, so you think you might be onto something here, March, but you've kind of hit a dead end. You got your hopes up a little bit when you saw something related to Lab 4, but what you're getting is a mix. This appears to be what you tapped into here as a mail server.
Okay.
A lot of the mail archives are either corrupted or have been. It appears that like the files cannot be found.
All right.
However, for whatever files were accessible, you were getting a lot of you're seeing a lot of communications between maybe some low-level staffers. There does appear to be, again, you're kind of doing almost like a heat map, almost we'll call it, like of words and things like that. Probably trying to find anything related to these things is what I imagine.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see there has been a lot of chatter in through a lot of like the low level folks about what's going on in Lab 4. No one has any access to go in there, and everyone can see that there's people working in there. But most of the staff, I guess, have been essentially asked to not linger or stare, right? And just allow them to continue their work. But a lot of it seems to be that they were just doing a lot of work within computers, right, in Lab 4. There didn't appear to be any sort of large-scale experiment that they could see. Like, there seems to just be a ton of mystery through the communications you're finding here between some of the people who worked here about what they were doing in Lab 4. Because for the most part, it almost just seemed like it was a lot of people just sitting in front of computers and, like, talking to each other.
Okay, so we might actually have to go to Lab 4 itself to get any more information about that son of a bitch. All right. How's it look? What do we got? Anything else looking promising? What's our time look like?
So it's been about another 15 minutes, but like it's hard to tell. I'm not sure if anyone has like a watch that they're wearing, but you have that walkie-talkie. You can always check in with your pilot.
Can I roll a luck roll
Who's
to
that?
see if I have a watch from being an office man?
A luck roll. I mean, yeah, I did say I kind of wanted to incorporate this, but no, I am the one who determines the luck, so I will roll something.
Nice.
no.
Tell me if I have a watch.
Tell me if I have a watch.
Or if you just remember to put it on today.
Or if I remember to put it on today.
Oh yeah, I had nat 20 that. Sure you do.
Nice. I check
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's probably been about 15 minutes.
TikTok. I click my fingernail on the.
Son of a bitch.
March, before you disconnect from this particular server, though, you almost feel like, again, you feel this sort of almost like electrical shock from your wrist device / arcane focus, right? Your little like power glove.
Tingly.
You don't typically get feedback like this from this thing, right? Like it's been you fine-tuned it, like this is supposed to like this is outside of any sort of I guess variance that you would expect from just this tool that you've built, right? Like
Yeah.
you're not sure where this electronic feedback is coming from, but it's almost like it's like every time you try to disconnect your cables from this particular rack, it's almost like you're almost getting shocked.
Okay. All right. Son of a bitch.
Any luck,
Shit.
March?
Yeah, I think we're right on the edge. I know, we're right on the edge of
indicates
something.
not luck.
The swearing indicates either lots of luck or absolutely no luck at all, and I'm not really sure which one it is, and it's kind of starting to piss me off a little bit here.
What did you find so far?
Mail and talk. It's absolute crap. I got rid of all the useful shit. Something's bugging me about this one, though. Let's see. Let's take some off the beaten path stuff. Shit. We're gonna look for like redacted stuff, perhaps now. Let's get
now
away
need you to
from the
make
word
me
cloud.
a hacking tools check.
That sounds beautiful.
It's probably the most stressed we've seen March.
Another?
Another?
No.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
Another one.
It was meant to be. No, it was just meant to be.
Hapless no more.
I'm
gonna roll
That's
that
okay.
one now.
It just means the scales are gonna swing at some point.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm on one today. It means I'm gonna absolutely just drive the plane into the mountain
Another
next
one.
episode.
So another nat
one.
20. So March, it feels like your hand is being guided as you sort of like are typing and fiddling with some of with some of the like sort of back channels you're trying to take now to see if there's any other maybe data that hasn't been fully scrubbed from this archive. And you almost feel like something else has like led you to something, I don't know, beyond your comprehension almost. It almost just feels like luck, fate, I don't know. It like leads you to some attachment, just some like attachment floating out there. Whatever message it was attached to is unreadable. It just appears to be a lot of different just random characters, numbers, symbols, and things like that, kind of just like in multiple lines. It just looks like that, but then there's just some sort of unmarked attachment with no file extension.
Yeah, no, I'm not supposed. No, not supposed to be doing it like that. Fuck! I told myself I'd never do it that way. Shit, I'm supposed to be trading under my own fucking name. All right. Whenever we're in it already. All right, we're downloading it. We're putting that on one of the good drives.
Mm-hmm. You feel this sort of like this surge of energy again come from your glove as you're sort of initiating this process. But you know, it's you don't, you know, there's no like booming voice, you know, in your head, this time around. Like there's nothing. You just feel like something is different here, but it's really hard to put your finger on it. But I will note for you, March. While this transfer is happening, it appears that it's got about 3 minutes left on it. You feel a buzzing coming from your pack.
From possibly the device that I just put in there?
I don't know.
All right, well, let's go dig around. What's the worst that can happen? Don't answer that.
Yeah, I mean, as you're digging around, this thing that you like, it's like all wrapped up, but you feel like it's like the sound and the vibration is coming from within there.
Oh,
That's not the.
No, but we're gonna be illuminated about something real fucking quick. So I don't know. Get your not surprisey hats on or something. I don't know. I didn't have my exit strategy from that sentence. Crack open the case.
In big red letters on the little like horizontal display on there, you see the following message. I'm going to read it out loud in a second, but I want, for the gravitas, I'm just going to give you the same sort of delivery that it would be if you were to read it. And I'm going to post it in our little thing here in our handouts channel.
Oh.
That's fun.
It's like that now.
I didn't read it.
So the message, it appears to be in like half ASCII type like text or leet speak almost. It's TH3S33 vertical line less than sign R HAS FOUND. You, the seeker, has found you.
Oh my god.
Who's the seeker?
Well, it's either going to be a thoroughgoing professional who's decided, who now knows that he absolutely has the upper hand on us and can get cocky, or it's some shithead little kid who thought he could get cocky and doesn't have shit. And unfortunately, it's going to be too late to find out which by the time we find out which. So, son of a bitch. All right, well, good, Seeker, you found us. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Get in line.
Did we get what we need? Can we like leave now?
The message kind of just like flashes there for a second and then it disappears and you just sort of see like the semicolon end parentheses, little smiley face.
Ew. Too many emojis at the first text. That's an ick.
And that's all that is now all it displays.
All right.
Well, back in the bag with you. I didn't got time for this shit. All right, I think we've just about wrung this room out, so either we're going to security or lab 4 on the way out of here, because I don't want to waste a second here.
Jam would suggest
lab 4. Yeah.
Well, we probably don't have to go to lab 4, but it's going to bother us for the rest of our fucking lives if we don't look in there, isn't it?
If we don't have Project Q, the rest of our lives might be not so long.
Depending on what we got, we might have some Project Q. We might not have some Project Q.
If you didn't find something labeled Project Q, I would think you may not have Project Q.
Yeah, do you think Project Q is going to be dumb enough to post their fucking name all over their shit?
Yes.
I mean, have you seen this place?
You know what? I've had enough out of both of you trying to fucking be right at me right now.
Sorry, I'm left-handed.
I mean, you are
Fucking
kind of just like
ass.
you downloaded a thing and
you shouldn't have downloaded, and you got
an intuition,
and you got a scam
pretty much
text.
just have,
I feel like
you
I'm
pretty
right.
much just have an intuition right now that I mean you were led to this somehow for some
Yeah.
reason.
You got a
but
page that said "Get hacked, bro."
No. That's a separate thing. That's a separate thing, right? That device and then whatever file he found in whatever archive in this mail server, two different things.
Yeah, we got correlation. We don't have causation here yet. Like legitimate scientists would be all up in arms about that, but there also aren't any of them here, so fuck them.
The radio crackles to life again.
What's that?
Lev. And you hear you hear Mulligan come through again, and he says,
friends, I don't want to rush you again, but we have but a few more minutes before whatever unexpected company has arrived in this system is within range to potentially know that we are here.
Jeff, great to hear from you, Jeff. Again, unannounced. Does your ship have weapon?
No, it's a shuttle.
Oh shit!
Glorp,
It's supposed to be covert.
Glorp grabs the radio hand and pulls it closer to their face and says,
Jeff, do you have the ability to order pizza for the guests if we don't have any weapons? Maybe we can kill them with kindness.
This is no time for jokes.
I'm not...
You just deflate a little bit.
Maybe tell Jeff to hide?
Okay, Jeff, I need you to embrace every instinct right now and hide. I know that's what you secretly want to do. You don't want to fight, you want to hide. I need you to hide, Jeff.
What do you mean by hide?
Yourself. Hide yourself.
The ship is right here. They're going to see the ship.
Put something on
Right.
Put something on. Put the covering on it or something. Find Big Tark, Jeff. Come on, think out the box. Why'd I got to tell you everything?
Or he could move.
This is why you don't have. This is why you don't have PhD, Jeff. And I click the thing.
Absolutely fucking horrible to
You
this.
tell him.
What the fuck is wrong with all of us?
We should be also moving to Lab 4 if we have to go to Lab
Yes.
4 still for Project Q. Because
I'm assuming you guys are having this argument
Yeah.
as you're walking.
We can walk
Lev
and
is gonna
talk. We've all
develop
seen
a-
Aaron Sorkin shows.
Yeah, we've all
Smoking
seen
addiction.
episode 4 of season 2.
Like a jewel fiend or something soon.
When you turn the corner towards the, where the window and door for Lab 4 is, right, that looks in, the camera is now pointed in your direction. And that's where we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. Hey, if you like us and if you hate my cliffhangers or if you love them, you can find us on the internet. We are in a whole bunch of places, and all those places that you can find us are located in our link tree. It's just linkter.ee/haplessheroes, and that'll point you to all of our social media pages and all the other places you can find us, including the crown jewel of our internet presence, our Discord server. It is the community server that we've created and have been running for many, many years now. All sorts of members of our audience have joined in, and we're all talking about the episode, all the different episodes as they're airing. We're talking about things that are, D&D related, not D&D related. It's just a really cool place to come hang out. There's a lot of cool people, and we would encourage you to join that community for yourself and see it for yourself. Now, if you really, really, really like us, though, another way you can show your support is by leaving us a 5-star review in the podcast service of your choice. Every review helps us grow and gain more visibility, and also it just makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside when we read all the nice things you say about us out there in the World Wide Web. And hey, if your podcast service does not allow you to leave a review, but you would like to anyways, that aforementioned Discord server also has a 5-star channel in which you may say some nice things about us, and we will recognize you for being the 5-star human being that you are, including one we got recently. And I'm going to have some comments about this because it's just, it's wild to me. But we got a 5-star from one of our listeners on Discord that goes by Moo Latte, who says, started listening to season 1 after the first episode of season 2 dropped and just finished, which means you've binged this
crazy.
in the course
How?
of less than a year. You've listened to 300 some odd episodes in less than a year. Anyways, you guys have truly made driving Uber the most entertaining job in the world. I definitely give you 5 stars. Some riders also enjoyed the podcast, so hopefully more people join the club. Thanks for the entertainment. I can't wait to see what the rest of season 2 brings. Also, biggest shout out to Choom. He has literally made me belly laugh while listening to season 2. Okay. First of all, thank you, Mulate. You are a 5-star human. Second of all, I just needed to say something. You have exposed strangers now to our podcast. And I'm just thinking to myself, you said some listeners, some writers also enjoyed the podcast, which makes me also think that among the people who were maybe not part of this sum, we have found that person who left us a 1-star review.
Our hater!
I don't care if we just had a conversation in this episode about correlation does not equal causation. However, in my headcanon, I want to believe that one of those writers was just so appalled by whatever they heard.
They sought us out.
Episode that they sought us out.
So many pearls were clutched that day.
And left us a 1-star review. So
it was probably the I'm not a doctor
us,
episode.
if you're currently in Mulate Zuber and you're listening to us, we're sorry or you're welcome. We're not sure.
Yeah.
But we are
I'm not sorry.
No, actually, no. We're not sorry. You're welcome.
I apologize for nothing.
You're sorry. We're welcome.
We're sorry for being so great.
Mulate is a friend of mine, so I see you. I love you. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. I love that so much. So it's possible. Anyways, listen, that's obviously a great way to show your devotion and support for the show. But if you really, 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 really like us, I'm talking about like you just can't get enough. You want more. You think to yourself, man, how could I possibly get more Hapless Heroes content? Well, I would direct you then to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a ton of bonus content we're releasing on there. I mean, we have many, hours and hours of bloopers from, all of season 1 and some of season 2 as they've occurred. As well as, Dave and I have started recording some Lore Corner episodes. We had like a between 2 episodes thing we did with Zach 2 for a while, where we just kind of bullshitted and talk about random topics. And we are also going to probably be moving any additional interviews we do, like we did at the start of this season, also into a sort of free content pool within our Patreon as well. So you can kind of get a preview of some of the extra things you can get, and just so we have a home for some of the things that don't necessarily fit our episodic format. So check it out. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. For the price of a cup of coffee every month, you get access to pretty much everything. So just take a look, see if it's right for you, and know that all that money goes back into making this show as awesome as it can be for you. Now that I've done my spiel, there's nothing left for me to do besides outro my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful cast of characters for you in the opposite order in which they were introduced. We had John playing Jam Jam.
Until next time.
Sebastian as Choom Deloom.
Until next time.
Don't steal my lines, Chew.
Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup.
Until next time.
Lewis as Lev Zangief.
Until next time, I guess.
And Dave as March.
And fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. I'll see you the time after next or something. I mean, I'll be there next time too, but I'm going to cover my fucking eyes or something. I ain't seen nobody. Fuck y'all.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.